What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. And there is some news because Conceicao is closer, is getting very close to joining Juve. That's the latest updates. But there is a crazy, weird twist that we kind of knew about, but all forgot and now has been confirmed. So the news is that Conceicao is getting closer because Di Marzio said that we offered around 22, 23 million euros for Conceicao, but Porto are asking for 25. So based on that, you need to assume that it's not far off. And if you want that player, surely 2 and 3 million euros cannot be the issue. However, there's a spicy twist to the entire story. Before we get into it, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. Remember last season when we signed Conceicao on loan, whatever it was, Porto fans came out and said, keep in mind, there's a weird, clause in his contract that suggests that he owns part of his own transfer fee. And we was like, but forget about it. And right now, it's been confirmed by Mirko Di Natale, and it's first been confirmed in the Portuguese, I think Ebola it was, and then Mirko Di Natale picked it up saying that Conceicao owns 20% of his transfer fee, which makes things extremely interesting, and maybe that's why Porto won 30 million euros. It was agreed with the old board. The clause agreement was also with Porto's old board, from Conceição's point of view. So the story is that when he went to Ajax, he got a higher wage at Ajax. When he came back, the Porto president said, I cannot pay you those wage. What we're going to do is we're going to give you 20% on the transfer fee you will get in the future, excuse me, and then, all good. And Conceição agreed to that. Now we came to a point where Porto value Conceição, forget about the 10 million loan, they want 25 million euros for Conceição, and they're asking 30 because they need to give up 20% basically. So they want around 25. That's why the Di Marzio story is interesting, saying that they want 25. That makes me believe that they want us to pay Conceição or find an agreement with Conceição where it's like, Conceição, we will give you a bit more wages, or we will give you a sign-in bonus, but spread that over the length of your contract if you stay at the club, something like that. That's how I'm reading between the lines into this story. Because Conceicao really wants to say, the club knows that and is probably going to trying to leverage that to lower the transfer fee, especially in the books right now, and spread that throughout the length of his contract, maybe on his wages, whatever, a bit here, a bit there, to make it look better. But the story and the point is that Porto wanted 25. We want to offer a little bit less because we'll probably need to pay Conceição, or we're going to need to pay Porto more so they can pay Conceição. Either way, it's getting closer. So the stories about him being the main target are correct right now. And the stories about about Jadon Sancho, are very odd, because now the same sources are saying there's no agreement with Jadon Sancho nor with Manu, even though the same sources were saying actually it's close, the wages are not far off, the agreement with Manu is not far off, and now it's all over the place, But if you have Conceição as your main target, then surely a difference of a couple of millions cannot be the deal breaker, because at that point you're going to need to start all over again, or going to reinvest that money even more in Jadon Sancho. And this goes beyond, do you like Conceicao or do you not like Conceicao? Because a lot of you do like Conceicao, and a lot of you have questions about Conceicao, and a part of you do not like Conceicao. I'm in between. I do not really like him, and I have a lot of questions when it comes to Conceicao. But if the club wants him, they are going to close that deal because it's not far off. But that's not the only news that's popping up, because Sporting Lisbon apparently are offering 20 million euros for Alberto Costa. And if that's true, I can see the club selling Alberto Costa. Yes, the transfer fee is a bit low in terms of we paid around 30-40 million for him, so it's not going to be a massive, profit, and we don't have cover, so it doesn't really make sense. But the club, when we talk about, he has potential, the club doesn't really care. I don't care if it's Comoli or Giuntoli or Paratici. It's just the DNA of the club lately. They don't care about potential. They care about, can you bring in some money here and there, and actually, can you offer anything? And he's poor at defending. Let's be real. Besides the potential, he's poor at defending. And I think the club is looking at it and saying, it's too much of a if, and if the money is good, we will take it. Then is the question, okay, you're selling Timothy Weah. What is actually the plan right here? So let's see how that will go. But this is about being realistic about the last couple of seasons at the club and how they view certain things. Then there's news out there that we might be selling Miretti if an offer of 15 to 20 million comes in for him. And for me, that's a mistake once again, because this goes beyond, is he a main guy, Miretti? We talk about we need backups, but we need money to reinvest in the first team. Now, it will be clean money for Miretti. I get that. But I'll go back to the point where, why are we investing money in Kostic 1 year, maybe extension? Let's be like, that's happening at the club. That's a real possibility. We can brush it aside and say that's never going to happen. It can very much happen. McKennie, a new long-term deal, when everybody's like, he's a squad player, but 3.5 million euros for a squad player, that doesn't really make any sort of difference. Isn't it smarter to just get rid of these players and keep a cheaper one with maybe a bit more potential, or he can do the same job even, and you get rid of players who've been here for a while and are part of the problem? How many times are we going to do this over and over and over again? Same goes for Kostic. I don't care that he works hard in training. He offers nothing. Even as a backup, you need to get rid of these players for once and for all. There's a reason we moved out certain players, like a Deschilio, then they came back, Rugani, and they came back, Kostic came. Like, at what point is this going to stop? At what point are we going to get real and stop using the excuse of, oh, but he can be a good squad player? No, we cannot. Like, he cannot be a good squad player. Let's be real about these things. We need to get real, and we need to be, if you want to be big again, you need to make the decision, the easy ones. No, Costi is not good enough. No, McKennie is not good enough. No, we're not going to reinvest any more monies in these players. And we go again. And even if it takes a bit more time, at least we made the decision to not waste more money on the same players who have proven not to be ready to take us to the next level or be part of a better Juve side. If you want to be the same team again, then fine, all these deals make sense. But if you actually want to win, like they say, and aim and compete, then this is not good enough. Now, going back to the Conceicao one, so it's close, but keep an eye on it, because the structure is a bit weird. The situation with Porto and the clause, all of that is a bit odd. So it's going to be interesting to keep following that and keep track of that. But that's the news. So in the comments, you can let me know what you think about the Conceicao one, and what you think about that clause. What is at stake here? Is Porto asking us to really pay that, or are we finding an agreement with Conceicao to lower it, or find some way out of it because Conceicao wants to say? And what does that mean for Jadon Sancho? Like, did journalists jump the gun? Is it really not close? Is it not needed at all right now? Will the news come out, Jadon Sancho's gone, and we move on to securing Colomani and actually fix that back line? But yeah, so Conceicao is getting closer. Let me know, like I said, in the comments what you think. Like the video as always, subscribe to the channel, and we will speak again maybe tonight. If not, then it will be tomorrow, and hopefully with some other, exciting news that we can actually talk about in the next couple of days. Ciao.